So could you tell me a little bit about what are some of the most interesting findings that you have found so far?
So one thing we're looking at is the way users evolve over time. Obviously, when a person starts reviewing beers, their tastes will change as they become a more experienced beer reviewer. On this website we have individuals who are reviewing hundreds or even thousands of beers over a few years. Interestingly, the most popular beers tend to be the strongest and most difficult to drink beers like double and triple IPAs. But what's interesting is that more experienced reviewers actually become more critical of products. People who review more products in a single day tend to be harsher than people who only review 1 or 2 beers. People who are reviewing beers in the middle of the day rather than in the middle of the night tend to be more critical. So presumably a drunk person a person who's drunk in the middle of the night is happier about their drinking experience than a person who's drunk in the middle of the day.
Like people seem to be happier with the beers that they drink during the winter than they are with the beers that they drink during the summer. So do you have a clue why that is?
So certainly there's a big drop off around June where beers become markedly less enjoyable. Partly this is due to beers that are only released in certain seasons. Perhaps people prefer summer beers to winter beers, if you're in the correct hemisphere for that. Perhaps people prefer beers that they drink while they're on holiday. If they're taking a summer holiday, they're likely to enjoy a beer more than if they're just drinking it at home during the week, for example. Perhaps when people take holidays, they end up drinking more foreign beers rather than local beers. We're not exactly sure, but around the middle of the year and the end of the year, something big seems to happen.
How about then, you talked about beer matching, like some of the top beer reviewers, they do beer matching. So what is that?
Yeah, so a lot of the most popular beer on this website are extremely boutique beers that can only be purchased from a particular monastery in Belgium, for instance. So you can't buy these beers on the open market. So the only way to get them is either illegally on the grey market, or to hope that somebody who has bought a few cases would be willing to trade their beers with you. So the websites have a service, so you can have a wish list of beers that you'd like to drink and a list of beers you have in excess, and then if somebody else has an excess of something that you want, it can match you with that person.